All right, drama. Part two of today's coverage, we're going to be going over some of the Acid Rain news and some of the fresh retro stuff that we just got. All right, switching over to the Acid Rain World side, make sure you guys are paying attention to Skellywags TV. I'm pretty sure that he has covered all this already, so these are just a few updates on my end. But basically, we are getting some Wonderfest exclusives. We're getting 4 specifically. But we do have news that Pia Club will actually be selling it online, either in tandem with the festival or potentially right after it. We are getting a few. So the first one here is the Shadow of Asimite, which is an absolutely horrific name. I wish they would have chosen something else, but it's a very phenomenal looking figure. It's Kelsey without the chest armor and just blacked out from top to bottom. I think that is really cool. This is definitely between this and Valdo, this is definitely one of my favorites. But what's cool is that this doesn't seem to be this isn't a unique character. It's just one of the Shadow of the Asimite organization. So I hope that we'll be seeing a follow-up faction of that, because that would be pretty awesome. And then here at the actual Wonder Festival, we were able to get these photos. I believe Patrick also posted some of these, might have been Damon as well. But basically, this is what it's going to look like. I personally don't like this. I'm going to be 100% with you. I've gotten really used to seeing these in their packages and with really nice artwork that I kind of find it frustrating that we're getting this style. Because I do believe I'm going to have to rip this open. And if I have to rip this open, it's not going to be as nice. Right, I can't keep the package, and it's not something that's gonna like stack well with all the stuff that I already have. So I kind of wish they would have thought about this one a little more before making it in this fashion, but still looks really cool. The artwork does look fine, and she is supposed to come with multiple different kinds of figures, so it's not quite multiple kinds of guns, so it's not quite sure what we're gonna get with this one. On the Omanga side of things, which by the way, when I got into Acid Rain, I ignored Omanga a little bit. And as you can tell, they're not easy to get, especially regular troopers. But luckily here we are getting what's basically a hero trooper, which is really nice because he has the right puppet arm. So it's a robotic cybernetic arm, which is what all of Omanga is about. But Valdo looks really badass. I think this is going to be a really cool figure. I definitely want to get my hands on this one because, again, I didn't get a lot of Omanga stuff. And it would be nice to be able to get something to bolster the ranks, because who knows if we're ever going to get any re-releases for these guys. But I think that this looks pretty phenomenal. This is very cool. And he comes with a very unique gun. It's the same ones that everyone else in Omanga has, but it's the only one that's painted orange, which is nice, right? It's going to be a unique color palette to the figure itself. And I do want this, and I kind of hope that we get a follow-up release of maybe soldiers that he'd be leading. Maybe they have orange on them as well. And then as you can tell, this is what it's going to look like. This is going to be a more regular release with the regular box. Thank you guys at at Acid Rain for making that decision. This is how the release should be. And it looks phenomenal. This looks really good. I want to say that this isn't 100% repacking. Some of this might be new. Those legs look a little different. But again, I never owned a regular Omanga Trooper, so I couldn't tell you if maybe that's what they looked like. But I think overall, this looks like a badass piece, and I definitely need this one. Now, when it comes to the Lagoons or the Loons, whatever it is that they're called, this is absolutely not my cup of tea. I don't like this kind of stuff. I would never buy this kind of stuff. It's not my cup of tea, like I said. But for those of you who are into it, and I can see the appeal, this right here, the Neo Atlantis mascot, that's actually kind of dope. It's really cool looking overall. The gun that it comes with looks like an Uzi, and I don't think that we've ever gotten this weapon before. So if you are buying this, or you're able to get your hands on it, you will be getting basically a unique weapon that no one else has their hands on. And that could be worth its own thing by itself. I've always been confused what's under the body. Is it just a regular, like, Omanga Trooper? Is it a regular, Argert's Trooper? Like, what's under the suit? Is it just a generic body? But overall, I think that if you're into this kind of stuff, this is right up your alley. The color palette looks great. The gun's awesome. The head is obviously super characterized, so you're gonna love this. I think that there's no reason for you not to pass on this. If you are already into this kind of stuff. And then again, here at the Wonder Festival, we did get a full picture of it. Yeah, it looks perfectly fine. For what it's supposed to be, it matches everything that's come before it. So if you love that, you're gonna love this. But again, just not my cup of tea. I also don't have any interest in this kind of stuff right here, like the Jeeps that come colored all funky like, but I do like the Jeep itself. This is something that I think if I were able to get my hands on, I'd probably repaint it to match either the, the Marines or the Sand Troopers or Sand Engineers, just something different overall. I probably wouldn't keep this color the way it looks. But I think that for a vehicle that you would want to use for acid rain stuff or anything 118th, this is very clean. Why not pick this up? And if you are picking up the Lagoons or the Loons, whatever they're called, you're going to like this. You might as well pick this up. And again, these are going to be available all on Pia Club, as well as being available currently at Wonder Festival if you're there. But chances are, like many of us, we are not. And then, of course, here we do have the actual physical shot of it. And yeah, I think it looks great. I would love to see a re-release of this, maybe with more motifs of some of the militaries here that we have, because I think that that's something that could look really nice if they just kind of spruce it up a little bit, a little like actual troop transport. That'd be really nice. Now, as you know, Fresh Retro is putting out this new IP of stuff, right? And these are some of the robots that I mentioned that we were going to see, but we, weren't sure on size or anything. Big shout out to Patrick for these ones because, damn, these look phenomenal. Look at these pieces. I honestly was not sure if I was going to be sold by Fresh Retro and what they were doing here, but after having an opportunity to actually see these robots right here, these are dope as hell. Especially the coloring. I honestly thought they were going to look a little bit more goofier looking, but this actually looks really dope. They're buff, they're bulky, their guns look awesome. I hope that their articulation matches, and I hope these aren't too tiny. These are 1/18 scale, but I imagine these robots are going to be bigger than the regular troopers that we'll probably be getting. But overall coloring and the way that everything looks, this is a solid set. This actually makes me excited for what's to come with this IP.